Welcome to Let the Quran Speak. I'm Aisha, your host. October is now officially recognized as Islamic Heritage Month in Ontario after legislature unanimously passed an act on October 6th. On behalf of our entire team, and as stated in NDP's press release by our executive producer, Ilyas Ally, we would like to thank Andrea Horwath and MPP Teresa Armstrong for introducing this bill. Let's sit down with Dr. Shabir Ally to learn more about his thoughts on celebrating this groundbreaking moment and month. Welcome to the show, Dr. Shabir.
Pleasure to be on.
So Islamic Heritage Month has officially been announced. You brought this to our team's attention even before I think it officially came out. So why is it something that's important to you?
Well, Islamic History Month has been recognized for the month of October by Canada's federal government for the last 9 years. And now it is only now that the Ontario government has recognized October as Islamic Heritage Month. So even before the announcement from the Ontario government, it was already a fact that October was Islamic History Month. And to me that is important because our youth growing up in Canada need to know that Islam is a very important part of world history, and non-Muslims as well need to have that information.
And how do you think schools, communities, and mosques should celebrate this month? Like, what should they cover? Because in the news release, the NDP leader, Andrea Horwath, said that, she hopes, I'm paraphrasing, but she said she hopes that this month is an opportunity for everyone to learn about Islamic culture and history.
Well, yes. There are two things to be learned here. One is the general history, and two is the particular culture of the Muslim societies. In terms of history, people need to know. We all need to know how does world history play out, and how does Islam fit within that world history. We need to know that after Jesus, on whom be peace, another 570 years, the birth of the Prophet Muhammad occurs. He starts to receive revelations from God. His revelations are collected after his death. It becomes a major world scripture. Soon after his death, his followers took the message of Islam to various parts of the world. Islam very soon became the largest empire in world history, spanning from Morocco in the west all the way to India in the east. And out of that civilization now we have the heritage, the cultural aspects that come out. We see that there was a blossoming of Islamic learning and developments in science and technology, much of which would later on be transmitted to Europe and would affect the culture of the world. To understand Canadian history, we have to understand history of Europe, because many early migrants came from Europe with their connected histories. And to understand European history, we have to understand its interconnection with the Arab world. We have to understand the time of the Crusades, when Crusaders went down from Europe into Arab lands, and they were surprised by the development of science and civilization that they noticed there. They brought back some of these cultural aspects and developments to share with Europe, and now it's part of World Heritage.
So do you see, from what you're talking, do you see Islamic Heritage Month practically on the ground similar to how Black History Month is celebrated? So, I remember in high school or university, you have, not university, but high school mostly, you would have courses, or there's a week where that's what it's focused on. Is that what you're hoping with Islamic Heritage Month?
Well, how precisely it might play out, this may differ from one institution to another, situations one from another. But I'm hoping to begin with that educators in schools and institutions more generally will take the cue from this announcement to introduce such courses, special lectures, introduce books into already existing courses and curricula, and that active Muslim student groups in universities would hold special lectures to highlight some of the developments of science and technology in Muslim lands, and more so the broader context of Muslim history. And apart from that, I expect that there will be articles written in newspapers, there will be television programs such as ours commenting on this, and there will be more of a general awareness created as a result of this announcement.
What would you say to some people, because there are always comments flying on social media, who say, well, why do we need Islamic Heritage Month? There's already so much about Islam on the media, Islamic extremism, so there's already this sense of exposure. Why do we need a month dedicated just to Islam?
Well, we have days and months and weeks dedicated to a wide variety of causes to raise awareness about issues that may have been downplayed or forgotten. The contributions of Muslims over history had been for a long time quite downplayed and misrepresented, in fact. Sometimes a Muslim scholar in the past made developments in a certain area, and later on the credit goes to someone else. And it may also be and it has also happened that the Muslim scholarship was recognized in Europe, but the Muslim scholar was given a Europeanized name. So one does not recognize from the name right away that this has been a Muslim scholar or somebody of Arab origin. If we think, for example, of Ibn Sina, he has been called Avicenna, a Europeanized name. So Ibn al-Haytham has been called al-Hazan. So one does not get the sense right away that we're dealing here with a scholar of Arabic origin. And then sometimes some scholar makes a discovery and later on the credit goes to somebody else. So Ibn al-Nafis is said to have been the first person to describe blood circulation, but later on the credit went to Harvey.
What advice, I guess not advice, recently in the media, at the federal level, there was a motion that was blocked to recognize Islamophobia. And so, at a provincial level, we've made this progress, but it seems at a federal level, we're still battling with anti-Islamic sentiment. So what's your take on
Well,
this?
it shows that much more work has to be done, and part of the establishment of October as Islamic History Month on one hand, Islamic Heritage Month on the other hand, is to advance this sort of dialogue so people can recognize how much interconnected the world is, and how essential it is that we recognize each other and we stem the rise of Islamophobia or hate against any people or for any reason. We want to promote love and understanding. We want to build bridges. We want to create harmony, a peaceful atmosphere. And a lot of this can come through education. How many people realize, and how many have thought about it, that much of what we have in modern civilization is actually creditable to the golden age of Islamic civilization from about the year 750 with the rise of the Abbasid Caliphate up until about the 14th, 15th century. The top scientists in a wide variety of fields were actually Muslim scientists. In terms of mathematics, we have the remnants surviving in the fact that we called algebra. It's called algebra. It's an Arabic word from a book by a famous Muslim scholar, Al-Khwarizmi. His book was entitled Kitab al-Jabr. So from al-Jabr we get algebra. In fact, from the same person's name, Al-Khwarizmi, we get algorithm, which is a branch of mathematics. Our numbers that we use in English are actually called not English numerals, but they're called Arabic numerals. Why are they called Arabic numerals? Because though the numbers that we use today were already invented in India, it was Arab and Muslim mathematicians who actually popularized their use. In fact, the zero, which is essential to computer systems, was actually popularized by Muslim mathematicians. And we can say much more if we have time. We can talk about various aspects of science. We can talk about medicine. We can talk about art and culture, architecture, town planning. But time,
I think we'll save that for another time. Thank you very much, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
Hey YouTube, we hope you benefited from this video. If you liked it, or if you didn't, let us know in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more, check out some of our other videos. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.